Curious about the price of a Magic Online card? Try our searchable price guide on the right sidebar of any mtgoacademy.com page.
Welcome back for round 2. We've lost the dice roll again, and we're on the draw. And this hand has everything except for a creature, so we're going to mulligan it. And this hand's a lot better. We have 2 lands, we have a protection spell, a pump spell, and a creature. So let's see what we're up against. Mono red, it looks like. Yeah, Grim Lawmancer, which is actually really good against us. So we can draw a 3rd land, and we can protect our Acre Mirror. So that's pretty good. We drew a forest immediately. Start out with Cathedral War tapped. Ooh, so not mono red. Looks like Splinter Twin type deck. Oh, Young Pyromancer, okay. I'm actually just going to play Acre Mirror now, just because of the mutagenic growth. Oh, I guess he could have bolts, so I guess we'll just play another Cathedral War and say go. Without a Rancor, it might be actually hard to win this. Just as he has Young Pyromancer, so it's going to have a lot of chump blockers. Steam Vents. I guess I could have played the Mirror and hope he had not have a burn spell, because this way we're playing into a counter spell, which is unfortunate. But we do have another creature, so let's play the Mirror. And he had Spell Snare, exactly, which is kind of unfortunate. So I still think we wait a turn on this Glistener Elf. We're not in too much, like, that close to dying. We're still at 17. Opponent has 3 cards in hand, 2 cards in hand. So our Glistener Elf is more likely to survive. Looks like he does have a spell because he's not attacking the Grim Lavamancer, so he's anticipating that he gets to use it. Oh, never mind, he's attacking. Okay. So we have to play this land first to play around Mana Leak. Let's go like this and say go. So we are at 13, so we definitely need to, no spell in turn, which is good. Let's see if he flips Delver. He doesn't, so we either drew a land or a creature. And he played a land, so you can assume it was a, so we're not blocking here. So we're taking 5, we're going to 8. If we draw a land, we actually could kill him. We get Pro Red. And 2, 4, 6, 9. Okay, ooh, that's pretty good too. So that's 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9. So I guess we just attack. And it's double exalted. We can't actually kill him. We're 1 short. So he is blocking, which I thought would probably happen. And we're not quite dead yet. We're going to play our Acre Mirror. So if we draw a forest, we should be okay. Ooh, Mana Leak. That's pretty good. So we could have won anyways, because he did have the Mana Leak. And we're going to cancel. So we're taking 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. If he doesn't flip Delver, and he doesn't draw a burn spell, we can actually, we stay alive. He didn't flip Delver, which is good. So if we draw a green source, we can actually win. Any land might do it. Now this, because we're at, we definitely, our opponent was able to stay alive long enough. We weren't able to kill them, unfortunately. Yeah, so we're just dead. Go ahead and concede this one. So I feel like we had an okay, like, we had a good chance of winning that game. He just had the Young Pyromancer, which is really good against us. Yeah, we couldn't have an Apostle's Blessing because like, he was just gonna block. So that's not good for us. So I think this is fine. Go ahead and submit. I don't think we want more dismembers. We definitely want all the Apostle's Blessings and all the creatures and all the pump spells. So we'll try this out again. So we get to be on the play for game 2. Oh, and this hand's sweet. Got some pump spells, Ink Moth, which is resilient to a lot of his stuff. Can't counter it. So we're not going to mulligan. We're just going to play Glycerin Elf turn 1. Hope for the best. And we can actually play Ink Moth turn 2 and Rancor, depending on what he does. Leaves the man open, obviously we can't Rancor because we don't want to get countered. It's a really good recurring damage source. Probe, so he knows what's up. He knows what to play around. I actually like the Taxing Probe a lot. I think more decks should be playing it. Like 2 damage is definitely a lot, but looking at an opponent's hand is such good value. And it allows you to play around things and know what you're up against. Especially when there's a lot of twin, a lot of combo decks in the format, so you can know where you stand, when you can tap out, when you can't, what you have to play around and whatnot. All the obvious things you could think of when you see your opponent's hand. Steam Bench from our opponent. There's literally no reason not to pay 2 life. But if he plays it tapped, that'd be sweet. Okay, so he did pay 2 life. So it's like he has bolts. Yep. So he's going to play Ink Moth and say go. Oh, never mind. We drew a Necropede, so we'll play that guy. Now we'll say go. So that was a good draw. Just being proactive against them is awesome. Just not letting them build up their board and just making them answer everything. Second bolt. Okay, that's unfortunate. So 1 blue mana means you could have like... Okay, nothing because it was Delver Secrets. But it could have meant like Spell Snare or Vapor Snag. My hand hasn't changed much since the last turn when he probed. I just drew the Necropede, which he saw, so guess he's just trying to draw cards. So we get to attack for 3 here. I guess we'll just attack for 2. We'll play the Cathedral. I think I just want to attack for 3. I just want to get as much damage in as possible. And then next turn I can play Cathedral and run this play back, depending on what he leaves up. So our opponent did flip his Delver with a Serum Visions. And these, which he immediately casts. Let's see what he does with the Scry. Puts on bottom and bottom. So alright, so nothing relevant. He already used 2 bolts. So I'm gonna say if he just passed the turn back, I think. Okay, so he's not even attacking. Alright, awesome. I'm actually going to dismember the Aberration. Play around Spell Pierce. We can't play around Mana Leak. Dispel. Okay. I think we'll wait. He did bottom both of these. Like, I don't want to get hit with another counter spell like on this Mutagenic Growth when he blocks, which was his plan, because he doesn't have a removal spell. It looks like. To play that tap. So like, there's really no reason not to play them untapped. Like, just okay. So he has something. So we're going to 13. I really hope we draw an Apostle's Blessing or a... Or I'd say, or a Vines of Astwood. So I think he just has a Vapor Snag. Oh, I guess he could have Snapcaster Mage. Yeah, he probably has Snapcaster Mage. Might as well just make him use it. Oh, he just drew the 3rd bolt. Okay. That's fine too. Well, it's not fine, but nothing to do about that. Just play Necropede. Can't play around Mana Leak. And it resolves, okay. So he's used 3 bolts, no snapcasters. Shattering Spree, okay. Weird that he did that before he attacked, probably didn't realize this ability. So he shrink his Delver. He has 2 cards in hand, but we don't have any creatures. So we need to draw something pretty quickly. We have a couple turns. He probably has more burn spells. So one card in hand, he just played a land. Alright, perfect. Just what I needed. Ink Moth off the top. And he's attacking, so it looks like he has something, or he's just trying to race. Which he knows about the Rancor, and I think he knows about the... He doesn't know about the mutagen growth, but he doesn't know about the second Rancor. Okay, so... Since we drew a creature, we can attack here. I assume he has something. Just attacking for 2. We could play Glistener Elf and say go. So we're in pretty good shape. We have 2 creatures. He's already at 5 poison. We have a bunch of pump spells. So his plan is not to block anymore, it looks like. Well, he might have to now. Pillar of Flame. I'm actually going to pump it. See what he does. 3 mana. He could have Electrolyze here. Just not unreasonable. He does, okay. So our guy dies, but we took away 2 of his removal spells. Plays another land. Really just want to draw a pump spell here. It's not bad. Definitely not necessarily what we needed. So we are going to Rancor it up. Okay. So he mana leaks that, so he has no cards in hand. We put him to 9 poison, say go. So we can't be dead to any like top decks. Like if he has another bolt, we just still only go to 1. One of the reasons I do like using mutagen growth whenever I can, just because like opportunities like this, I feel like where I got my opponent to 9 poison and I can't kill him, this feels so bad. So I usually just try to jam pump spells whenever I can usually. So our opponent played another probe. And he's attacking. Okay. Hopefully... Okay, so he doesn't have bolts, but he has something. Hopefully it's just like Electrolyze. Okay. Alright. He knew he was dead because of the Rancor. Alright, let's go sideboarding. I guess they gotta have Spell Skites. I think I wanted everything. Everything worked out pretty well that game. We never drew like a protection spell, but we still got there. Just drew enough creatures. So we're on the draw for game 3, which makes it a little bit harder. But this hand's really sweet against his deck. Just tons of creatures. We're not going to mulligan. So we should be able to stick something eventually. And a basic island from our opponent is a good start for us. We get to play Glistener Elf. See what he flips. Doesn't flip, so it's either a land or a creature. And we're definitely not blocking. So we go to 19. So if it lets us untap. Alright, so doing the Groundswell is a pretty good draw. We'll just attack for 1. And no pump. Like, I'll just play another Necropede. So I just want to wait for like him to bolt first. Cancel on that. So one answer we went through. Kind of unfortunate we don't have another land for our groundswells yet, but we'll draw it. Our opponent missed again. Going to 18. I say if we drew a land, it might be worth it to try go for it. Especially if he tries to kill this. Could have counter spells. We're actually just going to mutagen growth first. And then if he like bolts it, we can groundswell it. Oh, but he had the Vapor Snag. Okay. So I'm glad we have our groundswell still. We'll play Glycerin Elf. We'll see if he counters it. Nope, they don't play Necropede. So he's still only at 1 poison, but he's not applying pressure, and the Stellar hasn't flipped yet. So I assume he just drew the Sulfur Falls. So it looks like he's Electrolyzed. We're actually just going to take it in case he doesn't, but that's what I think he has. So we'll take 1. And then it looks like he has some kind of removal spell, either Shattering Spree or Pillar of Flame. I assume it's either Electrolyze or Shattering Spree because I assume our Necropede's dying, that's why he attacked first. Alright, nothing. Okay. This spot we're just going to animate Ink Moth and attack with all our guys. Alright, so it looks like he has Electrolyzing. He's waiting. Okay, he just has Snapcaster Mage. He's going to Vapor Snag something. So he's taking at least 1 Infect. He might be blocking. Okay, that's sweet. We haven't played land yet, so I'm okay with that one. And if he pumps the Glistener Elf, we'll just pump it. What's interesting, now that we have a land, we actually have a landfall for next turn. Or we might just replay our Necropede. He only has 1 card in hand. So I'm actually just going to pump our Glistener Elf so it'll survive. If he blocks, that is. And he doesn't. So we're just going to play our Ink Moth and play our Necropede. It's down to 1 card in hand, so I'm feeling okay about this. We are at 12. But we have a good shot at comeback. There's definitely an argument for leaving this in my hand so I could double Groundswell next turn. I'm actually just going to block here. Because he missed again, and I just being able to kill both his creatures like takes off the clock. So he missed on land. I'm just going to animate Ink Moth and attack with both again. He doesn't have... Well, I guess he could have a Snapcaster Mage. But he definitely does not have a spell in his hand. So I'll say go. If he drew Snapcaster Mage, because that turn he missed with Delver, like we're playing on Mana Leak, I guess he does have another Vapor Snag. He played Young Pyromancer. We're actually going to dismember this end of turn. And no response from our opponents. And we're just going to go for a double Groundswell. And, yeah. So yeah, that's pretty sweet. We were able to win that match. It was a little bit grindy, but our opponent just never flipped the Delver. If he did, we definitely would have been dead. We ended the game at 7, or at least we wouldn't be able to dismember the Pyromancer. But yeah, so we were able just to grind out our opponent, just drawing lots of creatures, and worked pretty well.